It's Cricbuzz Chatter, Day 2 stumps. Adam Collins, Michael Vaughan. Another thrilling, captivating, compelling day of Ashes cricket where Australia had the chance to put the foot on the throat of England and they couldn't keep it down. 142 for 7 at lunch, then 95 runs in 62 balls after the long break. It just changed this test match entirely, Vaughanie.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the story of the series. Every time you feel that a team's going to actually kind of rub the opposition in the dirt and say, right, you're not allowing you back into the game, something happens. Mark Wood, I actually saw him going to the indoor school at lunchtime with Paul Collins, no doubt to face a few short balls. And he came out with a theory straight after lunch, went bang, bang, bang to Mitchell Starc straight away. And in a funny way, that created momentum for Ben Stokes. Ben Stokes started to get going. Look, once again, England have played a few too many pull shots, in my opinion. You know, I think when you've got a player like Ben Stokes playing so well at the other end, you know, just ducking and weaving and trying to bat for Ben Stokes may have been sensible, but it's entertaining. It's great fun. Now 12 days in the Ashes series that we've had, and every single one of them has been riveting, enthralling. Australia, I think they'll look at two areas. I think the two key players in Smith and Labuschagne gifting their wicket to Moeen Ali. There's nothing there for the spin. He did a great job just holding an end. That's what his job was to do. But to think that Smith and Labuschagne have got out to Moeen Ali on that pitch playing, you know, I've never ever seen him give it away like that. Particularly Steve Smith. I've never seen him look so itchy and tetchy when he went to the crease. So yeah, from the start, Joe Root getting out second ball, Johnny Bairstow shortly after. To think that England are in a position now where they're only 142 behind, 6 wickets to get, I think England will be delighted with the day.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just going back to that reference point at lunch, so they lose Root in the first over of the day. Lovely ball from Pat Cummins taken by Warner. Ball that was swinging to him at first slip, never easy, but he got there in the end. Smith snaffles one at second slip from Bairstow, an inexplicably bad shot. I mean, you know, it is what it is, but sometimes you get out that way when you're not yet set, and Bairstow seemed focused on everything but the game in front of him. We saw Moeen Ali fall to the leg side trap, Wokes out on the stroke of lunch to Starc as well. Like it felt like they were like a session away from this being done and dusted. Before that explosion, Australia were getting most things right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Aussies catch everything. They're not giving England a sniff, but you know, sometimes in Test cricket, you just see little moments, and that moment after lunch, just a 24 score from Mark Wood off 8 deliveries just created chaos. It created mayhem in the stadium. It just created noise. The Yorkie faithful were suddenly starting to go a little bit nuts. And then once again, this Ben Stokes is some guy. What a play. I mean, I've never seen anyone play with so much clarity when a team needs it. Yeah. You know, he's almost like, all right, the team need it, I will deliver. I don't remember seeing Ben Stokes not deliver when the team desperately needed something from him, whether it's with the ball in hand and more often than not with the bat in hand. Every time this England side dip into the Ben Stokes well, you know, he goes, don't worry, I've got some more left in there. Whether he's got more left in there for the second innings, we'll have to wait and see. From an England perspective, they'll hope that they don't require Ben Stokes, but I'm pretty sure they'll need him in the second innings once again. He's a tremendous cricketer, a tremendous player of the mental game. How he copes with it and how he deals with that situation. As the captain, 2-0 down in the Ashes, his team are crumbling, they're making mistakes at the other end, and somehow, from somewhere, he always seems to find clarity.
Yeah, his team are crumbling. Like, if anything, the criticism is that he shouldn't have to go into beast mode as often as he does, but so it is with the England side at the moment. Past 6,000 runs today, you know, with a right glute injury, a left knee injury. I mean, the guy's falling apart, let's be honest, but he's still out there making it count. 80 today. He's got the lowest average of players to make 6,000 test runs, but that does not tell the story remotely, because as you quite rightly point out, he finds a way when it's hardest, and not many players have that club in the bag, and that's what makes him such a joy to watch. When Australia go to bat, now the Labuschagne frustration that he's been expressing is his ability to get starts and not go on with it. And the theme since the World Test Championship final has been precisely that. It felt premeditated, as did Smith to an extent. Like, I think the shot 2 balls before it, where he came down and clipped as well, was with a degree of risk. It's as though both players overthought what they were doing out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Moeen realised that. I think on that kind of pitch, there's nothing for the spinner. And Moeen Ali knew that he had to hold an end because Ollie Robinson's not able to bowl. England only got 3 seamers. Ben can't bowl. So I think the Australians almost allowed Moeen to bowl too many good overs early. You know, I actually thought the Aussies, as soon as Moeen Ali came on, they'd just try to hit him. Well, they allowed him to bowl, and then all of a sudden, Marnus started going, OK, I've got to try and go up into the gears. He got that one fortune down the leg side, tough one for Johnny Bairstow. And I thought, oh no, he's been given a chance, he'll get a big score. He'll be there, not out at stumps. Marnus will get a century. To see him get out so softly, and then to see Smith follow it just a couple of overs later, that was a real momentum shift in the Test match. Again, it's been a kind of common trend throughout the whole series. When you think a team's got the opposition, and you go, oh, they'll nail it in the next hour, and that'll be it, game pretty much set. both teams have always said to the opposition, there you go, you can have another gift, you can get back into the contest. There'll be another twist or two tomorrow, without any question. Something will happen. I'm intrigued to know what these clouds are going to bring, because for 2 days it's been pure. You know, the sun's been shining, and Headingley has produced a wicket that's as good as I've seen in Test match cricket. There's just been enough there for the seamers, just enough there for the spinners now. What is the clouds going to bring? Generally, the cloud brings a bit more swing, so the Aussies might need another 160 to feel really comfortable, but it might be that they only need 100 if the clouds do the trick.
I think they'll want another 260 on the basis that England will believe they can chase absolutely anything, on the basis of what we saw, you know, for a time at Lords last week, falling short by 45 runs or whatever it was, 43 runs rather, and what they did today when the going was tough. And also there's the wicket of Khawaja. It feels like in the way that Stokes so much hinges on him in terms of England's fortune, so it is for Australia. He's now faced more than 900 balls in the series, double anybody else, and Wokes seems like an inspired selection. For all of the plaudits on Wood, and rightly so. I mean, watching him run down the hill here at the Kirkstall Land End is a sight to behold. The way he throws himself around and the way he creates pressure for Moeen Ali down the other end, but just quietly behind the scenes, a little away ducker to Usman Khawaja to get him. Broad getting Warner again. They're the supporting cast in a way for Wood, but they're playing their role.
Yeah, well, actually, fact, if you look at all the kind of players that have just come into this game fresh, you know, they've not been playing in the Ashes, not been playing a great deal of cricket. So you got Mark Wood, been outstanding. Chris Wokes, been outstanding. Moeen Ali played the first test, missed the second, been very, very good in this test match. Mitchell Marsh. Now there's 4 players that have come into a game just fresh in mind, probably fresh in body, and all 4 of them have played fantastically so far, and Big Mitch holds the key. Mitchell Marsh plays a similar knot to what we saw in the first innings. He certainly can get Australia to beyond 300 in terms of a lead for that chase for England. If England can knock over Marsh in particular, because I think as soon as Alex Carey goes out there and Mitchell Starc and Pat Cummins, Wood will cause chaos. You know, he's bowling quickly. I just don't think they'll fancy facing him, even on the pitch now that's just not quite as quick as it was on days 1 and 2. Day 3 it'll still have a little bit of it, but not as much, and Wood is that point of difference that England can throw the ball to him. You know, without Wood, I think the tail of Australia will fancy getting quite a few runs. With Wood, I don't think they'll get too many.
All right, Vaughanie, let's go into the hot spot. In the hot spot, the bloke we haven't mentioned at all, took 6 wickets, Pat Cummins. What a leader. I mean, he's got, I think, 234 test wickets at 21 or something absurd. His first 5 for in England after a glut of forfeits the last time around, but also how you evaluate his leadership. He seems to always be there when it's tough. I know he didn't make runs yesterday, but of course runs through the series, and with the ball, there's still nobody better.
No, there's no one. I think in terms of world cricket, you know, if you said to me, I think Bumrah's up there as well, but if you said to me you want someone to bowl the first over game to set the tone, Pat Cummins.
Yep.
He always sets the tone. The morning session had to set the tone to Joe Root's second ball, produces one that just bounces just outside off. You know, there you go, off and running. I don't ever remember him bowling a spell where I look and go, he bowled a few bad balls there. He might bowl 1 or 2. I think he bowled 1 short to Johnny Bairstow in his first spell this morning. I went, well, that's a bit of a surprise. Wonderful ball. He's just got that element of skill. He comes wide of the crease, goes closer to the gets the ball nipping back to the stumps, then he gets one to go away from the righties, bowls a sharp bouncer, bowls good slower balls now, and that cut is a good ball that he's got. He'll have a big say in the second innings. Whatever England are chasing, it won't be easy because they've got someone like Pat Cummins to face.
All right, let's press fast forward before we go. Nobody knows this ground quite like you, or not many people anyway. It's been a great place to chase. Leicestershire, Worcestershire this year. I think 3 of the last 5 times the side bowling first has won here. It's been chasing in excess of 290. The Stokes miracle here in 2019. There's something about Headingley and games remaining live all the way to the bitter end. I kind of joked before they might need 260 more. It may very well be the case that that's exactly how it plays out.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'm just intrigued with the clouds. You know, we all know when the clouds are around at Headingley, it starts to do a few tricks. You know, I think 250 is very, very doable. I think 300 is doable because of Ben Stokes. But when you start looking beyond that, you've got to always put in your mind that, when England chased that target in 2019, we saw the greatest test innings potentially of all time.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of put that to one side, and then the chase at Lords, England got to within 43 because of possibly the second greatest knock of all time. So you kind of put that into the equation. You go, wait a minute, 250 won't be easy.
No.
Against this Australian attack, on a pitch now at Headingley, we're seeing the odd ball keep a bit low. There's certainly still movement out there, but this England team will have a right good go. Whatever happens, and look, whoever's criticising Bazball, and you have to criticise them in some ways because they go so hard all the time that they bring the opposition in. They're the most entertaining England side that I've ever seen. They are a joy to watch. You sit there and commentate, and you have to be on it. As you know, every single ball you're thinking, what's going to happen now? They're brilliant to watch. Whether it's going to be good enough for them to win here, they've given themselves a great chance because they've had a really good, at the start of day 3, I think, oh no, this is day 2, it's going to be a really poor day, and England are going to get blown away. And I thought Australia had a chance of winning the Ashes today.
Yep.
I thought they were going to get that far ahead. But this England side have got some kind of character within them, and they've found a way, and they've given themselves a great chance of. It's an upset from where they were at the start of day 2 to where they are now. It is an upset, but they're an England side that can certainly get the job done.
So they're only behind by 142. That's the lead for Australia. They're 4 wickets down. The game's in the balance. The Ashes are alive. Follow it all on Cricbuzz Chatter. Talk tomorrow.